This is Papa Smurf. You're listening to Our Lifestyle, the podcast, with ODB and the mayor.
You're listening to Our Lifestyle, the podcast, brought to you by Custom Car Show Productions, which includes Orange Beach Invasion, Scraping the Coast, Sicknick, and Slamber Party. Make sure you search on Facebook Scraping the Coast Show on Instagram. Also, Sparkles Detail. Tim and Tanya, ODB and the mayor sent you. We out here. Peace.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on the skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised.
This right here for the number one shit with your number one. You ain't number one, just another one. Now everybody saying that they number one.
Ring the alarm, the caterpillar keeps firing. Oh, we in the war, where butterflies keep dying.
I'm a product of Parker Lewis and Kubiak. If I didn't
Yo, it's Our Lifestyle, the podcast, episode 104. We got Miggity Mike, the mayor, in the house. What's going down, my man?
ODB, Airhead Nation. It's another beautiful day down here in Southwest Florida. And, of course, I get to give you the lowdown on the weather because, dude, it's been absolutely gorgeous. Clear skies, sunny, and about like a high of 72. It doesn't get any better than that. But now tomorrow is supposed to be all cloudy, rainy, and another cold front's coming through, and it's supposed to be getting pretty damn cold. And I know all you guys up north are like, cold, you guys don't know what it's like to be cold in Florida. But tomorrow, guys, is supposed to suck. It's supposed to get down to like the 30s and 40s and shit like that, and rainy, and it's supposed to be nasty tomorrow going into the weekend. But we'll see. It doesn't matter. It'll be back to clear skies and absolutely beautiful by Sunday anyway, so it's all good, Jay. Dude, glad to be on here with you. What's going down, brother?
Man, I tell you what, this is our winter, and I love it. I wouldn't change it for anything. I do want to remind everyone that this episode is brought to you by Orange Beach Invasion, which takes place in beautiful Orange Beach, Alabama. That's spring break weekend, March 15th to the 17th. What I would suggest to everyone is hit Facebook, hit Instagram, search Orange Beach Invasion. Get out there, have a good time. Bring the bikes, bring the skateboards, bring the vehicles, bring the family. You're gonna have a damn good time. And it's also sponsored by Sparkles Detail, who is a sponsor of this podcast. Make sure you have Tim, Tanya, and the whole crew go over there and clean up your ride with those Croft Gate products. But Mike, everything else has been good on my side. We have continued to stay busy. I did have a little bit of time off, which was good. I got a lot of coworkers that are off around the Christmas week and the New Year's week. I traditionally don't take those 2 weeks off like a lot of people do. Knock on wood, hopefully it's quiet at work, but everything's good there. What about you, brother?
Dude, you mentioned Orange Beach Invasion, and dude, just booked my condo. So ready. Me, Mrs. Mayor, my boy George, my boy John, my boy Keith, we're all heading up to Orange Beach Invasion, and I can't wait, dude. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Condo is booked. We're ready to have a damn good time because, guys, Orange Beach Invasion, if you've never been, dude, get your condo. All you got to do is you park your vehicle down there on VIP row, and you're good for the whole weekend, and you just walk right back up to your condo. Everything's right there. There's restaurants, there's shops. My family loves it. My daughter, it's her favorite show of the year. She goes and spends time at the salon. They got the salon right there she goes and gets her nails done. The water park is right there. Dude, it's spring break weekend. It's a damn good time. You don't want to miss it. Great restaurants. It's just a really, really good family atmosphere, and it's a badass show. So you definitely want to be there. It is definitely mayor approved, ODB, one of his best shows of the year for 2018, and you don't want to miss it.
Yeah, and everyone that's up north, you think about it, you come down to the sunny southern weather. I call it Florida. It's technically Alabama. The Florida-Georgia line is what I cross over, and then biggity boom, you're there. But Mike, speaking outside of the truck shows, what else have you had going on in your life? Is it all packages right now?
Dude, I'm playing that fat, holly jolly, freaking, I can't stand the commercials that say Santa delivers more and Santa does this and Santa does that. Hey, kids, earmuffs, because if you haven't heard, the damn mailman's bringing you all your damn packages, all your damn presents, because your mom and dad ain't going shopping no more. They're sitting on their computer, ordering from Amazon, and gosh damn it, the mailman is the one that's delivering it. Unless you're Tony Boss Bowling, because Boss Man, he's doing some delivering too. And I guess the brown guy, he's probably doing some too. The purple guy's delivering a little bit too. But kids, don't let your parents lie to you anymore. That damn Santa Claus, that fat, red, jolly, holly, golly guy ain't delivering shit. So anyways, that was, sorry for that little scram there. But yes, dude, been killing it with damn packages. It has been absolutely crazy. And but believe me, I ain't complaining because, well, I guess I sounded like I was complaining. But I ain't complaining because that damn paycheck's going to be really good. It's been really good. And but definitely putting in a whole bunch of hours, whole lot of hours. So not seeing the family as much as I wanted to, but definitely killing it as far as delivering those packages. And all I can say is, guys, make sure you take care. If you got a good mailman, because not all of them are good, but if you got a good mailman, take care of him. Because, man, I got a bunch of good customers, and they take damn good care of me because I take care of them. They take care of me. So, Airhead Nation, if you're out there and you're listening, take care of your mailman. Or take care of your UPS guy, take care of the brown guy, take care of the purple guy, and make sure you take care of the boys in blue, only if they take care of you.
Yeah, and the woe-mans, right? Not just the mail man, the mail person.
The mail person.
PC,
yeah.
You can see where Mike is, you know what I mean? But in all seriousness, this episode is basically going to be a two-part. We've got the 2018 year in review. We're going to hit you on this one. We're going to talk about some of our favorite builds. We're also going to talk about a few of the new products that come to mind for 2018. And then ODB, I'll hit you with the year in review for 2018. I've already got all the albums listed out, so I'll record that separately. It is worth noting on the next episode, so you're thinking, well, what else are you going to talk about? On the next episode, we'll also hit on some of the bigger things that some of these truck clubs have done, right? So the positiveness, some of these clubs are doing toy drives and donating to charity. So we'll have a question next week in the Airhead Nation group kind of asking, hey, what are some of the things that these clubs have done? So we'll hit on those. And then we'll also hit on our favorite shows of the year and why. One other thing that we'll touch upon on this one, Mike, is we will talk about some of the general things from 2018 that really stuck out, so some milestones for a couple companies. But with that being said, I did want to provide a scene update, Mike, and I don't know, we talked a little bit about Motor Trend, right? So they're that new conglomerate network. They took over Velocity. And have you got a chance, or have you seen the show? It's called Handmade Hot Rods, and there's a guy named Steve Strope. Yeah, I think it's hand-built hot rods, excuse me. And there's a California shop out there. It's called Pure Vision. And I thought it was pretty cool. I've been recording it. The guy has a pretty impressive record of, I think, 3 straight design awards at SEMA. I know one was GM, one was Ford, one may have been the other big OEM, right? But you always think of the GM Design Award and maybe the Ford Design Award. But Steve and his team, they recently had a Toyota Classic pickup on the show. And, man, they painted this thing green. It came out fucking awesome. It was really badass. I think it was, they call those Stouts, right, Mike? And it was a truck that technically wasn't available in the United States at that time, but the customer shipped it in from Australia, and they built it over a course of time. Now, being a mini trucker, some of the things he did, I wouldn't have done it that way. Like, he took the hooks off the bed. He extended the bed down a little bit, right, behind the cab. So some of those were like classic mini truck items that I wouldn't have changed. But I do think it was pretty cool that we're seeing a mini truck on a primetime type episode of a show being built. I thought it was pretty cool, man.
No, that's definitely cool. And like you, I have recorded it. We just got done getting rid of DirecTV because our association switched over to Prism. I think that's what it's called, isn't it? Prism, whatever. CenturyLink. And so we haven't got all familiar with this whole CenturyLink stuff yet. So I got to find that, make sure I get it recorded and go back and watch it, and watch that stuff on demand and whatnot. But definitely really cool when you see mini trucks being put on the spotlight on these TV shows. That's for damn sure.
It just means what we've been saying for a while is true, that minis are on the rise. You know how we do, man.
Yeah, baby. Minis on the rise.
We even got Big Juice from down south, man. Jason Redden chimed in on one of his posts. He's building that Mazda, and he said, don't forget, and he put hashtag minis on the rise. So, John, the OG, thanks for doing the hashtag, and keep doing what you're doing. Saw that static drop going good. He's got the mud flaps as well. Someone chimed in and said, make sure you cut those things, but leave them there, man. Real deal.
Jay, with that being said, I want to see a picture of Big Juice in this Mazda, in this truck. I want to see a picture of him actually driving this thing and see, because he's a big dude. So I'm curious to see what he looks like inside this damn mini truck.
That's it, man. Yep, he is a big dude, but that's why they call him Juice, man. He's not on the juice, though, I heard.
Well, we always see him in these full-size trucks, and now he's got this mini truck. I want to see what he looks like in this mini truck.
Word is he's going to make it a roadster, and he doesn't care about the rain. He's getting crazy. He's going to have that tailgate open sideways and have a jagged puzzle deal. But I do love his tag on it, man. It ties into the whole "you ain't low," so he keeps that theme going. But Mike, as we talk about some of our favorite builds, what really helped us out is earlier in the Airhead Nation group, I posted in there. And, we had the homies like Mike Hill, you had Eric Mosley, you had others like Josh Ellis, Billy Weekley, Kerry Bewley, Ricky May, Bobby Mass, David DeCorver, David Phillips. You had all these guys chime in, and it helps because honestly, like when we're getting ready, I spent a lot of time putting together the list for the hip-hop albums. And, man, when you start trying to think of like these builds and the years kind of go together, and it's like, man, really what came out this year, whether it was finished or not, it's hard to like think through all that. But if I were to ask you, Mike, like what are maybe one of your favorite builds or a couple that come to mind that really stuck out for you?
Well, one of the builds that definitely sticks out to me, and one of the main reasons why I put him on the After Dark flyer, was Mike Hill. Mike Hill's Explorer. Dude, Jimmy's Rod and Customs absolutely killed it on this rebuild of this Explorer, and I know you've seen it. And the video of him out there gets it out at a Jimmy's, and he's out there doing donuts with it. And I love the color. I mean, I love the pick of the rims that he selected for it. And it's a two-door Explorer. And how many two-door Explorers do you see out there? And this bitch is bad. So definitely for 2018, and he's getting ready to kill it in 2019. But that is definitely a build that I'm looking forward to seeing in 2019 for sure.
Definitely, and I've joked about it recently, getting crazy coming out of 2018, doing a fishtail right into the highway going into 2019, and that's what Mike Hill reminds me of. He's a guy that he stacked up his chips, and he has gotten with the best in the industry. Jimmy's Rod and Customs, good friend of his. Jimmy does fantastic work, and then biggity boom, you got this really awesome refresh of the Explorer. The color is awesome. The wheels look great. They got the LS swap, as Big Juice would say, LS swap the world. And it looks great. He's been driving it. He even has a photo. If you look at his Instagram, it's Mike Hill _386. And he had a photo about a week ago. And he said, driving with billets in the rain and muddy roads suck, but they're all cleaned up again. And then they tagged the homie Alex and said Alex would have been proud. So, these guys aren't afraid to drive their trucks. I mean, it's a beautiful truck. And, to your point, Mike Hill even chimed in. And although his isn't totally finished, I think it's where it needs to be. It's a driving truck. It looks fantastic. He's repping RA, Relaxed Atmosphere, Florida, and I couldn't be happier for the guy.
So, Jay, what's one of your favorites for 2018?
Well, Eric Tapia really kind of helped me, right? So I was going through my head, and I'm like, what really stood out? And there's a ton, right? To me, one of my favorites is the Trey 5 Suburban. So if you Google TRE number 5 and then Suburban, now you guys already know this vehicle, right? So you're thinking, hey, ODB, I don't need to Google it. Totally got it, right? But if you don't know it, Google TRE number 5, no space, and space Suburban. And like, for instance, here's Auto Revolution Online, our good friends over there. They've got a link here, is the first of my Google search at least, and they talk about it. You have this 69 Suburban. Really what gets me is the color. So there's a video that they've done on it. Blue is my favorite color, and the color that this thing came out is just awesome. The interior is awesome. It's got there's a company called Resto Mod Air. They also have a link out to it as well, where they're selling different elevated push-button AC controls, so on and so forth. But, the Suburbans are big vehicles, and when you look at the retro Suburban and you look at all the work that went into it and kind of like the flat color and the rag top, the clear glass, the billets, the insane interior, it just really sticks out to me, and that's one that I wish that I've caught a saw at SEMA this past year, but I can't wait to see it, man.
Oh, you ain't lying. And another one that I've been following, and I know he's a listener of our Lifestyle, the podcast, John Moore. He's got these Amigo, and it's the rebirth basically, because he's repairing it, getting all the interior, getting the paint freshened up. It's the green one with all the crazy graphics, and I know he's been posting up pictures of it like crazy, and it's got the wild paint job, it's got the billets, it's old school, and absolutely loving it. Definitely check that one out, Jay, if you're not familiar with which one I'm talking about. JONMOORE, John Moore, and check out that Amigo that he's got, and you definitely will not be dude, this bitch is bad, and it's old school, and he's bringing it back to life. Good refresh. And talking about a refresh, the damn look that kills. Our boy Josh Ellis, he's another listener of our Lifestyle, the podcast, and he's definitely put on a damn refresh of that truck, and he's been taking it on the tour all around the good old USA, and look forward to seeing this thing again in 2019, because he just keeps adding and doing more and more to it.
Yeah, the truck looks fantastic. I know there's big things to come, and for him to also be on that coveted special edition Street Trucks issue, which, by the way, I haven't got mine, that was a nice nod. He came down to the show, and he took part in that, which we've talked about it. When I think of other builds that really stood out, and really, I'm not picking a number one because, listen, I'm not a builder, so to speak, and it's amazing, the craftsmanship and the rungs, if you will, that continue, the notches, and it just every year is better and better and better. I think of Jimmy's Rod and Customs. I mean, really, when you think of the builder, I mean, that's who I give Builder of the Year to, because not only is he a good guy, but for him to build 3 Nissan Titans almost like Skittles, man, powder coat frame here, powder coat frame here, here's another one, stainless steel brake lines and air lines, and you name it. I mean, it's like hand-built everything. And by the way, I don't know, I haven't done the math, but the high percentage of it is mostly him. I know you got Tim there as well. I think, more on the part-time side, but, Jimmy, for what he can produce as one guy, it truly is amazing. Casey, a real good guy named Casey, with an Isuzu, his truck is awesome. I think it came out maybe towards the latter part of 2017, but his truck is awesome. We saw the rebuild of Crew Cut at Scraping the Coast earlier this year. Of course, it debuted with Gas Monkey Garage and, that famous rebuild. Loved how they tied in the Mahaney family. That was awesome. And then, one that we didn't really get a chance to talk about, we haven't had Brandon Sisko on yet. I know that he has been over on C10 Talk, but the Ghost, I think is what they call it, with the two S's. That 68 Phantom Tahoe, it technically debuted at 2017 SEMA, I want to say. But, I mean, just so many builds that blow my mind, Mike. I mean, every year just keeps getting better. And as ugly as the Chevy trucks are, people keep buying them. They keep laying them out, and I guess they look okay up until now.
Well, you mentioned Jimmy's Riding Customs earlier, and we know firsthand because we both have trucks built by Jimmy over there at Jimmy's Riding Customs, and I don't remember exactly how long yours has been, but mine's been close to 10 years. And the only thing that, I got it over there at Keith's, Gulf Coast Customs now. And pretty much the only thing that we've done is just change bags and just upgraded, E-level and whatnot. But the work at Jimmy's Rod and Customs is unlike any other. I mean, his attention to detail is by far some of the best out there. So we definitely know that for sure.
Definitely, man. And when I think of others, and again, Eric Mosley helped us out with this. He's a great supporter of the podcast. You had 50 Shades of Grey, which I think is what they could have called SEMA this year. I know there were tons of memes going around, and I think the official color of SEMA this year was the welding bottle gray, is what they call it. But still, my favorite was a few years ago when Mob Steel brought up the gray coupe. That's the sickest gray vehicle I've seen. My favorite, I should say. But he talked about a guy named Chris Carlson. He had a 49 Caddy that was super sick. It wasn't a truck, as he mentioned, but dude, I mean, the white wall tires and the custom wheels, the color, the interior, that was insane. You mentioned Josh Ellis, the look that kills. If you talk about, think about comeback player of the year in sports, this was probably what I would call the comeback truck of the year. It was a truck that's been around, but like LL said, don't call it a comeback. It's been here for years, and he's just pounded on that. He's pounded on that boxing deal. And dude, he comes down to Slamfest, dude, rips those fucking gloves off, and he's like, boom, dude, I'm up on jack stands. My paint's been done 20 plus years. What? And then just boom, dude. That was crazy. Billy Weekley, his is a part of the Jimmy's Run and Customs fleet. He just dropped it off. You guys will recall last week I mentioned Billy Weekley's Instagram. He dropped it off for some custom audio. You also had Kerry Bewley, right? So, don't call it a comeback. That truck's been here for years too. That was, probably going to hear his name on the next episode talking about some of our favorite guests. Got Ricky May come out swinging with the red full size. Bobby Mast finished up his Yukon.
Don't forget our girl Kate Simpson, baby.
Dude, Kate Simpson came out like, what? Boom, boom, boom. Mini truck of the year last year, at the tail end of the year. But, I mean, she came out with more stuff done. You had David DeCorver. You guys know I'm a C30 addict. I mean, his truck was the icing on the cake. David Phillips, congrats to him, man. The street trucks recognition. Local guy here in the Tampa Bay area. Red truck. I mean, just, dude, so many good people. And I tell you, Mike, Florida is really representing too, man. It's good to see Florida go boom, dude. We got a stake in the ground, even though we got all the nuts that are living down here. Dude, we got some badass truckers, don't we, man?
Oh, dude, you are not lying. And I don't know if did you mention Ricky May?
Yeah.
And, okay. And that's another one of my favorite builds for 2018. And once again, I got him on the After Dark show flyer, and love that full size Chevrolet. I like that little paint job he's got going there. And curious to see what kind of new rims he comes back out with. And because I know he's got some new rims coming for 2019. But dude, you mentioned it, Florida, dude. Florida's killing it. And look forward to seeing, with 2018 being so badass, look forward to seeing what the hell 2019 brings us,
For sure. And I got to stop real quick with the ODB Live and Uncut. Speaking of the crazy Floridians, here's a word of advice. Mike already knows this. There's cameras everywhere. Don't go stealing these fucking porch thieves. in Florida, I saw a headline today. I read the story. A guy steals a wreath off someone's door, and I guess, I don't know if it was a wide-angle camera or what, goes and puts the wreath on his door. Like, what kind of, I mean, talk about, it happened in Florida. I mean, what kind of scumbag, right? One is a porch thief. Two, literally has the balls just to go, oh, that looks good. It'd look even better on my house. I mean, dude, like, fucking Florida, dude. We live here. We just gave it props for the trucks. Hey, the trucks are awesome in Florida. The people are SOBs, man. I'll tell you that.
I tell you
not
this.
all of them.
I tell you this, delivering all those damn packages, man. Everybody's got those damn cameras, the doorbell cameras now. Oh, my God. It doesn't matter their income, because those things are not expensive, but everybody's got those damn doorbell cameras. So if you don't have one of those doorbell cameras, I guess you're just not cool anymore, because almost everybody's got those damn things. Every time I bring up a package, I'm sitting there, they can see me right there through their damn phone. And yeah, Mike, just leave it there on the left of the door, please. Thank you. Have a great day and Merry Christmas.
And you're like, wait, where's the cat? You're standing there like, yeah, go ahead and leave. You're like, no, isn't there money supposed to come out here? Like, you're giving me orders, you know. But they're like, no, it's not an ATM, Mike. You might get a little piece of candy for the good work there. Keep it on up. Dealing with all the senior citizens down there.
Oh, shit.
Craziness. But, listen, the listeners are going to be like, man, they forgot about this. Hey, we're just talking about some of the ones we had good interaction in the Airhead Nation group. Some of the ones that come to mind for us, those are some that stuck out. So, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I would also note that on the next episode, we are going to ask as I mentioned earlier, some of the great contributions that some of these clubs have done. A lot of these builds are highly involved with, clubs and different shops that put in a lot of work. So, mostly we want to highlight what the good work the clubs are doing. And then I would say my under construction, this is what I was trying to think of, my under construction favorite build of the year was definitely Eric Mosley. Because, dude, this guy's passionate about his truck. He got together with a homie in their garage. They basically built a frame for it. He got the truck running. He's still enjoying it, while he plots and plans on his next, whatever the next thing's going to be. We've seen a few hints.
Mr. Tony Rispillo.
Yeah, there you go, man.
Whoops, I pronounced his last name wrong. Sorry.
Rispoli, right? I think.
Rispoli. There you go, Rispoli.
I could be saying it wrong too, but RA Florida, man, it kind of goes back to Mike Hill, and you got Rispoli, and you got so many of the guys, man, and the ladies, right? Because Brooke, she's got a truck over at Jimmy's Run and Customs too. So these guys and these ladies, they know what's up in RA, and they keep the pedal stomped. And man, all we can do is say salute because they don't quit. So, Mike, here's a few things I wanted to throw out there for some of the best products, right? Some of the products that were maybe memorable from the year. What's one maybe that comes to mind to you?
Well, I mean, the first one, of course, because we always talk about it, and we both got them on our vehicles, is ViAir. And ViAir coming out with the new, bigger, faster, better, stealth black compressor. I believe it's the 485. And it's a big bad motherfucker. And so as far as product, that's probably one of the biggest and best products that I can think of for 2018. I know there's more, and I know other people listen to this and they'll be like, oh, why didn't you say this? Why didn't you say that? But that's definitely one of them for sure. What are you thinking, Jay? It
definitely is, and I think they call it the head. The head on those damn compressors looks good, doesn't it, man? It's they look fantastic. I know they had the 485C. That's the Gen 2, the dual packs, 200 PSI with 3.82 CFM. And then they got the 425C Gen 2 dual pack, 175 PSI with 4.8 CFM. So, it was good to see them roll out that product. Really, what kind of stuck out in my mind was this. I mean, AccuAir, we saw some videos from the manufacturing standpoint of their new product. We saw at SEMA, going back a couple years, they had the display set up there, and, they hinted for a while this, CVT was coming, and it was like, okay, what is it? We've talked a little bit about it over the course of time, but you can't go wrong with something that they always say. They always quote actual innovation. For them to go over to the company, I believe is in Germany, and link up with them and try to come up with, what's the next level of air, what's the next level of air management. And, you start to say, hey, we're going to put a compressor inside the tank. It was pretty amazing feat. And then it's like, okay, it's one thing to do it on 1 or 2 or 10, but then you have to mass produce something. And anyone that's kind of in a supply chain line or manufacturing business, that you have to have really high quality standards. And then, by the way, and we've seen this in Reno's videos on YouTube, talking about the DOT, what are the thresholds there? They wanted to make sure that they met all of those items. So for them to roll out this product, fantastic. The compressors inside the tank, you got some different colors, kind of reminiscent almost of like the Apple iPhone style colors with the coppers and things like that. It's just really cool. I don't have one of these setups on my car. I know someone that does. I know a few people that do. They like it. They really enjoy it. And I guess, Mike, they want some more of it. I don't know. Is that a country song or something?
Yes, it is. And we don't need to sing it. We don't need to talk about it. But it's definitely a country song. And it's one of those that,
it's your favorite.
At one time, it was my favorite. Yes. Thanks, Jay.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling the whole Airhead Nation that was my favorite.
Right. That's good stuff. Then why don't you tell us about the homie, I know Tim over at Slam Specialties. What did they have that was new?
Well, they had the new controller, and I know I sent you over the specs. I believe it was the V2, if I'm not mistaken. And that controller, I got one. I got one for my truck, and it's badass. And it's really cool looking, too. Definitely the size. And I love it, man. It works really well, and we were fortunate enough to have one for a giveaway for Slamfest this past year as well.
Yeah, and they're made really well. From everything that I've heard, they come with a 1-year manufacturer warranty. That MC.2 controller, you can just Google that, Slam Specialties MC2, and you'll get all the specs there. But they have different brightness setting modes, water-resistant receiver, different colors with the black anodize, gunmetal anodize. You have companies like Slam Specialties and some of the others that we mentioned that continue to step up and say, okay, we make a product that's really good. How do we make it better? And for better or worse, Mike, like Tony Boss Bowling on his 65 Red Sled, he's got all manual valves. He's got very basic 1/4-inch line, and it works awesome. And I almost like re-fell in love with all of those products because you have no leaks, simple, basic, right? But just like new cars aren't basic and simple, they're computer-controlled everything. Things get more technical, right? For better or worse. And these companies continue to come out with good, solid products. A lot of these companies, as did Tim over at Slam Specialties, they offered, as we mentioned in our Black Friday special, lots of good discounts that you don't always see from these top-tier product or companies. So it's good to see them continue to support, offering some discounts right around the holidays, and we're looking forward to some pretty cool stuff coming next year. I will mention there is a company that I'm hoping to kind of promote here in the near future. It's a Canadian manufacturer. It's called 33 Pneumatics, and that's THIRTY and then a number 3. We'll have to talk about that whole name because it ties in well to our podcast in the future. But if you look them up on Instagram, they've got a really cool valve block that they sell. He just had posted something the other day that he said it's official. We have secured a new space for 33 Pneumatics. He talks about moving into a new building and some really big products that are going to be coming. He's kind of hinted to me a little bit about some of those. And this is another guy that's continuing to kind of push the innovation mic for these different products. So I'm stoked to see what 2019 brings for him.
You ain't lying. And supposedly it's supposed to be a really good valve. And from what I've seen before, I think one of the biggest problems was just production. So it sounds like in 2019, he's really pushing to solve that problem that he was having. So wish him nothing but the best, and would love to team up with him and start pushing that product for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. And the last thing I'll say about it is, when I was talking with him about some things I was looking to do, he's a really smart guy because he installs the stuff day after day. So I was throwing some little nuances out there that I didn't like about other products, and he goes, yep, in this product we already have it built in, the product that he sells today. So like little things that if you don't install the stuff every day, you may not even notice some of those little things. So very smart guy. And, check them out, 33 Pneumatics. Good stuff there. Mike, then additionally, before we end this episode, I did want to also talk about some of the general things that happened. So our friend over at Morgan, why don't you tell us about the milestone, recap what they celebrated?
Well, Morgan, ViAir, over at ViAir, they have celebrated 20 years. And congratulations, because that's pretty badass. And that's definitely... 2 decades and of just pure badassness. And I see nothing, and they definitely ain't stopping because they're definitely by far one of the best, if not the best, air management systems in all of the world. So definitely look forward to having her on in the future and talking about what's new and what's coming up for 2019 for ViAir.
Yeah, she was talking about something about they're going to have drones built into the compressors, and the compressors fly through the cab of the truck, and they cool off the amps. It's just going to be crazy, dude. I don't know. I'm just making all that up, but it sounds cool. But, yeah, they're good people. You also had Street Truck. So Mike and I, we talked a little bit about this. You had them celebrating the 20th anniversary. It was pretty fitting, in my opinion, to have Chris Hamilton and Nicole's helping there as well for them to kind of bring in the 20th anniversary. Street Trucks is one of those magazines that they haven't had a lot of editors. I mean, I'd have to go back and jot them down, but there hasn't been like I'm going to throw this out there, like the Bucks, right? They change they change coaches like there's no tomorrow. But someone like the Steelers, Mike, they've only had 2 coaches in like 40 years or something, right? Well, Street Trucks is very similar. They're a company that has solid management, and sure, there's been changes, let's not lie, but now with the team that they have located here in Florida, they are showing and they are proving that they're an awesome nationally publicized or sold magazine, if you will. So we're really happy for them. And then, oh, by the way, they, of course, had that issue we talked about earlier in the year where they celebrated, they helped bring in Chevy's celebration of 100 or the centennial 100th anniversary. So big ups to those 3 organizations for what they did.
You ain't lying, brother. And since we're talking about that, real quick, just came across this. LST, probably one of the biggest, baddest truck shows out there, and all you guys know about LST, but guys, their pre-registration is ending soon. So if you're going to LST there in Conroe, Texas, make sure you get your pre-registrations in because that is ending very soon.
It definitely is. So make sure you get that in, as Mike said. So we have part 2 of the podcast coming. What I'll do here in a few minutes, if you stick with us, I'll do the 2018. Now, what's different about this, going forward, I'll do the review, and I'll cover albums that literally came out in the last 12 months. So for some of you, you love the year in reviews, haven't really heard any negative feedback from that, but it's not like we're doing a year in review from 20 years ago. We're literally doing like, hey, these are the albums that came out, up until a couple weeks ago, right, with Ice Cube, all the way back to the very beginning of the year. So looking forward to going through that with you guys. I'll talk a little bit about some of my favorites. I would encourage everyone to go out to atlmagazine.com. We also want to, from a celebration standpoint, really ring in the year with these guys. They did a fantastic job producing 4 really great magazines. Oh, by the way, they got the calendar for 2019 that's out there for order. So atlmagazine.com. And then 6 issues coming next year. You pay the one price, which is more than fair. You get a super thick magazine with a pull-out poster. That's the only time we use the P word there. And You will not be disappointed. So atlmagazine.com. And then, Mike, why don't you just tell us a little bit about the homie Riggedy Ron Perkins over at You Know Where?
Dude, Hammered Weekend Wear. I just want to say congratulations to Hank Norris for winning Employee of not just the month, not the second month, not the third, but Employee of the Year. Hank Norris, congratulations. I don't know how much Ron pays him, but dude, he's probably worth every penny, I'm sure. From his Instagram page, from his Facebook page, to just constantly, it looks like he's folding and just nonstop folding over there. And it doesn't look like he can replace that guy. So mad props to my boy Hank Norris over there winning Employee of the Year at Hammered Weekend Wear. Guys, if you haven't checked out Hammered Weekend Wear, make sure you do it. Not only is he a sponsor, not only is he a listener, not only is he a good friend, but Riggedy Ron Perkins, is the man when it comes to real builds. And not only has he got a calendar, not only has he got some really cool ass shirts, but he's got some damn banners over there too. So check out Hammered Weekend Wear. I believe it's HammerDWeekendWear.com. Jay's the guy that knows all these Instagram pages and all that stuff, but I just try. And I ride Jay's coattails. But definitely one of these days, can't wait to go over there and check out the Hammered Empire and hang out with Hank Norris. And so he can show me how the proper way to fold some of those shirts. Because when I'm over here, Mrs. Mayor is always trying to show me how to fold these damn OLP shirts. And it doesn't look like I can. I just can't get it. Just can't get it down like good old Hank Norris does. So mad props to Hank Norris. Shout out to Hank Norris. And, dude, check out Hammered Weekend Wear and get your gear because 2019, there's some big things coming from good old Riggedy Ron Perkins. And he's got some big announcements coming soon. So definitely stay tuned and check out Hammered Weekend Wear on all social media outlets.
You got it. Don't forget, I Get Around. Nice little nod to Tupac. I Get Around. Bigg Brown. And then you got Hammered, Hardbodies. And then you got the GWYG. No, that's not a 90s hip-hop group. That's Get What You Get for $10. So you can't go wrong. So, Mike, thanks for the shout-out there. Custom Car Show Productions. We talked about Orange Beach Invasion. But I'm telling you right now, Scraping the Coast 2019, you're not going to want to miss it. We will be there. The last word was Greg has authorized me to parachute in. We're going to land on horseback. I am. Then we're going to ride into the show, and then we're going to present the Best of Show trophy, but that's only at Scraping the Coast 2019. Some of it may have been made up. We'll have to see. You have to be there to really find out. One thing is, for sure, I won't be on stage rapping with Tone Loc or Young MC this year.
Oh, can't wait to see who's going to be there next year. But before Scraping the Coast, don't forget, good old Sean Randall, Mr. Vanilla Ice, has teamed up with Greg Miller, and they got a new show in Mobile, Alabama, July 23rd, called After Hours. It's a nighttime show, Hank Aaron Stadium. You don't want to miss that, guys. But before all that, guys, our good friends, we've been talking a lot about them today, but Relaxed Atmosphere Florida just dropped it today, okay? Relaxing on the Ranch, March 7th, 2020. Okay, guys? 2020 is going to go down. Relaxing on the Ranch, Relaxed Atmosphere Florida. So definitely check out that on social media. The page is there. The event page is there. Check it out because you know OLP is going to get involved. And we're going to push it. Another Florida show. We're definitely going to get behind it. And, of course, your boy, Mike Murray, okay, the mayor, has got a new show, okay? This isn't a Mini Madness show. This is a Mike Murray show. This is doing his own thing now, okay? I got a great team behind me, but After Dark, February 16th, Quaker Steak and Lube. After Dark, February 16th at Quaker Steak and Lube. Definitely check it out on social media. And be there because we're going to have a damn good time. Got the cornhole tournament. We got the damn beer pong. OLP is going to be there. And Jay's going to be running the OLP booth. And there's going to be a beer pong tournament going on. So, and Jay promises not to participate because he's going to put everybody to shame if he does. Okay? Actually, his wife, Mrs. ODB, would drink all you guys under the table.
Yep.
I swear that's what she said, but she didn't want to come on here to say it.
Yep.
So, guys, make sure you're there after dark, February 16th.
Hey, she went to Penn State where they'd go up to those parties, Puxatawny Phil, the whole is it spring? Did the thing see its shadow? Who knows, the whole gimmick, but they drank a lot up there. And hey, I guess they get crazy. So big ups. Don't forget, it's actually, Mike doesn't want me to tell you guys, it's the Peach Pit after dark. You know, Ian Ziering and the Brian DJ guy, they're all going to be there. They're going to be signing autographs. You know, we gotta make this show. We gotta just take it up a notch. You know what I mean? You know, Mike's favorite was the Luke guy. I forget his name from the show, but you know, Mike's got him on DVDs. He'll have to come on and do a whole episode to talk about 90210. He was a big fan. Sparkles Detail, we mentioned. Look them up. The Good People and SparklesDetail.com. When you're at these shows, have them detail your ride. ViAir Corp, they stay on the rise. And then Modified Merch, that's MERCH, Good People. We do have a towel. We want to give it away in a good way, but we've asked that whoever wins it wears it as a cape when you go to shows. So you have to get we're going to try to get a little snap put on it. And that way you can walk around like Superman.
Hey, Jay, let's save that for after dark, okay? February 16th, we'll give that away on stage Saturday, February 16th, OLP, freaking Modified Automotive Wear. Make sure you check them out. Tiffany, Casey, get your ride on a towel, get your ride on a shirt, whatever you guys want to put your ride on. And when I say your ride, never mind. I'm not going to go there. I'm talking about your car, your truck that you know, it's in your garage, and get that put on a towel, get that put on a shirt. Hit them up. Check out Modified Automotive Wear. Casey, Tiffany, tell them OLP sent you, and they might give you a little something in your little package there.
What?
So
here's what we got for you. I'm going to stick around. I'll do the 2018 Hip Hop Year in Review. Next episode, we'll talk about some of our favorite or the memorable guests from 2018. We had plenty of them, about 50 or so episodes, believe it or not. We did average right at about 4.5 to 5. We hit that goal in 2018. We're getting crazy in 2019 with great content. We'll also talk about some of the awesome things that these truck clubs and car clubs are out there doing to support the communities. And then we'll talk about some of our favorite shows of the year and why. So with that being said, that's all I got, Mike. Anything else you got for the Airhead Nation?
Airhead Nation, go ahead and tell us what your favorite shows are. Go ahead and tell us what your favorite, spotlight some clubs and tell us what some of those clubs have done. And when I say what they've done to help the community, what they've done to help the kids, and give us some feedback. And then, because we've got some ideas, but we want to hear what you guys got to say as well. And just hit us up there on our social medias and just let us know. So when we record the next episode, we can spotlight some of that. But definitely want to tell all the guys and all the girls listening that keep sharing and posting and giving us feedback. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. And just keep listening because we're going to keep doing the damn thing. So with that being said, ODB, Airhead Nation.
We out here. Peace out, y'all. Wait.
I'm prolific, so gifted. I'm the type that's gon' go get it. No kidding. Breaking down a swish in front of your building. Sitting on the steps, feeling no feelings. Last night it was a cold killing. You gotta keep the devil in his hole, nigga.
Hey, it's ODB, and we're continuing episode 104. As I mentioned, I'm going to go ahead and roll into the Hip Hop Music 2018 Year in Review. I also wanted to mention that there was a lot of great albums this year. And when you have access to Spotify or Apple Music, makes it super simple to go through and listen to some of these albums. Now, I didn't spend a lot of time with, every single album, but I did listen to most of these. I'll kind of mention some of my favorites, and then I'll also hit on some of the songs as well as albums of the year according to the Grammys. Of course, Eminem's not going to be in there because he had a major diss to the Grammys. But looking forward to kind of going through, spent some time looking at all the different albums that came out in chronological order. So we'll kind of go through that. We rolled in at the top to Royce the 5'9". That was the Caterpillar remix. I did use Caterpillar earlier in the year after the album dropped. That is actually track 4 on Book of Ryan. That features Eminem and King Green. Now on the bonus track edition album, which I purchased through iTunes, the final track 21 is Caterpillar Remix. That features Logic, who is, as I mentioned before, an awesome MC. You got to look him up. He's really good at what he does. And then King Green is also on it. That's track 21, as I mentioned. So up until the point of Royce the 5'9's album coming out, that was really my favorite album of the year. Love the name of it, the Book of Ryan. So it kind of ties into his name. The album artwork was fantastic, as far as the cover. Really liked it. And then Eminem dropped a surprise album on us. So many great albums this year. I mean, to me, Eminem stood out. On Twitter, I follow someone that basically posts nothing but Eminem, chart numbers, right? So how many streams did his album hit, such and such time in the year? Or some of his older albums hit, 500 million streams or whatever the hell it is. So I've continued to see the Kamikaze album has really, I think it's one of the top couple albums of the year in terms of streams. It's one of those that you can easily go back and listen to over and over and over again. For me, it's an album that I can just put on play and just let it roll. I really like it that much. So, Eminem's one of my favorite artists, so it's easy for me to say, it was the album of the year. Definitely didn't think that the album that he dropped last year was the album of the year, but I really, is my favorite. So, without further ado, and let me see if I can find this real quick on Twitter. Yeah, if you look up Eminem chart, if you're on Twitter, and you follow them, like 10 hours ago from me recording this, Kamikaze's now officially platinum in the U.S. They post, whoever is behind that Twitter handle, post all different kinds of stats. This is one that I saw earlier in the week. The Marshall Mathers LP on Spotify had hit like 977 million streams or plays. That was up 7.9 million the last few days. So this guy or lady, whoever's behind this one, really has a lot of good, metrics, if you will, in terms of Eminem streams and whatnot. He recently had posted about the Kamikaze album. He posted a lot. And it was one of the top couple albums. Let me see here. It was back on December 18th. Kamikaze now has over 1 billion streams on Spotify, according to this this Twitter handle. Spotify being his 6th album to do so, 5th studio album. Congrats to Eminem. But very cool stuff. And earlier in the week, he also said some of his, he had other stats on there. So. At this point, what I'll do is I'll kind of go through the album. So one of the really good albums that came out on February 9th was that Black Panther soundtrack. So that dropped. You'll also see, if I jump over to the Grammy nominations, what you had there was All the Stars, which is a really good song on that. That was nominated for several things, including Record of the Year. You had, category Album of the Year. The Black Panther was also nominated for that. All the Stars was also nominated for Song of the Year. So there were multiple nods there to Kendrick Lamar. And then I think King's Dead, that was also nominated for Best Rap Performance. So a lot of good stuff coming out of the TDE camp, which is Top Dog Entertainment. That's where, of course, Kendrick Lamar and his whole crew, J-Rock, and all those guys are signed. If you haven't checked out the album, definitely do it. It's a damn good soundtrack, and it's one that I keep on heavy rotation. On February 14th, Daz Dillinger from Dog Pound fame, he dropped the album Dazamataz, I think is how you pronounce it. So long awaited, always really good production. When we had the homie on in the past, we talked about The Chronic. We talked a little bit about Daz's production, and he always there's a channel on YouTube where he basically talks a lot about the older stories and things like that, and he really talks about owning the publishing rights to his albums and his work. And I've seen videos where he talks about how much money he makes in a month just from his old music, and a lot of those were Tupac produced tracks. So, anytime Daz drops a new album, I always check it out. I know the production's going to be on point, and it's typically the same type of content, but it's always good stuff. Now, on, February 6th? May have the date wrong here. Nipsey Hussle Victory Lap dropped, which was also Best Rap Album. It's up for that. So Nipsey Hussle Victory Lap, that was a long-awaited album. I followed Nipsey Hussle since really the infancy of him coming out. A lot of different mixtapes he dropped. The Marathon Continues, TMC, that was one of the best mixtapes ever from several years back. And then after the Marathon series, it was like, okay, Victory Lap was coming. And it was like, okay, another year passed. Well, finally this year they dropped it. There's a lot of good tracks on it. I got a chance to see him earlier in the year with the homie Dar in Tampa. He flew in, and years ago we went to see him, and he didn't show. I guess he was there, and it just didn't sell many tickets or whatever the hell happened, so I was kind of like, whatever. Well, we gave it another chance. He came here to Tampa. We got a chance to see him, and it was not the best performance, but he always puts out good music overall. Then he also, for those that are on Spotify, if you look up Nipsey, just type in Nipsey, you'll see that he just dropped a track on December 19th called Perfect Timing. And it's got the flags, kind of like a Victory Lap type thing. But I'm pretty sure when I listened to it, he's released a lot of short tracks. This one's only 2 minutes 30 seconds. And it seems like it's a leftover track from that album. So check out the album. All right, Tech 9, he dropped on March 2nd. It was the album called Planet. It features Machine Gun Kelly on the No Reason, the Mosh Pit song. And, of course, this is one where MGK sneak disses Eminem, and Tech 9 didn't even know that he was, dissing Eminem. It was a short little comment that he made about, Eminem, rap god, or something like that. But, to the point that, like I said, Tech 9 didn't even realize it, but it was a little sneak diss there. That's one of the reasons why Eminem says, when he disses someone, he doesn't sneak diss. March 9th, Logic drops Bobby Tarantino 2, a great album. March 16th, Prime 2 drops. That's Pryme. If you haven't listened to this album or the first one, it's Pryme. So this is DJ Premier from Gangstar, and this is Royce the 5'9". They have 2 albums they put out. They've got Prime and Prime 2. Really good production, badass albums, and great MC, man. Like I said, Royce the 5'9", he continues to put out really good music, and you want to check out that album. On March 30th, You God from The Woo dropped Venom. That also was accompanied by a book that he put out. So I picked up the book and the album from Amazon, and both are solid, right? The album is great. I like it. The book is really good. I went back and reread it. It was so good. A lot of good nuggets in there, different things about the Wu-Tang, the infancy of it. And I would say for any Wu-Tang fan, check out You God's Venom book and the album. On April 6th, he had E40 and Be Legit. They dropped Connected and Respected. Really like that album. April 20th, Nas drops Illmatic live from the Kennedy Center. If you are a fan of Nas or his first album, Illmatic, it's been re-released a couple of times for the different anniversaries out there. Various remixes were put out. But wow, the Live from Kennedy Center, it is on Spotify. Great production. He had a symphony that played behind him, and he kind of told a little bit of stories as he entered into each of the tracks, and it was really well produced. So pretty cool artwork for it. Always plays off that photo of Nas when he was a child, and I would highly recommend checking that out. Really good production, like I said. So on May 4th, Royce the 5'9" drops Book of Ryan. Amazing album. One of the awesome songs that just kind of blows you away is track 8, Cocaine. Really good song, and I can't wait for him to put out more music. He's just an awesome artist. Okay, on May 25th, the Pusha T, he drops Daytona. This is one of those albums, I said it earlier in the year, I didn't even listen to it. And I know some people are probably thinking I'm crazy, especially the hip-hop heads. But I don't like Kanye West, man. I really can't stand the guy. He's really arrogant. And he was behind it. You know, you guys, if you listened before, they had that really weird artwork, which was like Whitney Houston's bathroom photo that I think Kanye West paid something like $70,000 or $80,000 to license the photo. Then they put it for the album cover. I mean, just really, really strange. So I never really was someone that liked Pusha T a lot. He did a track with The Game before that I thought was a pretty good track. But that Daytona album is also up for Best Rap Album. So we'll have to see what happens there. Okay, next, talking about Kanye West. So this is where Kanye West, I guess, got off his ass and started producing. On a week later, June 1st, he dropped the Ye album, which, again, I refuse to listen to. And one thing about this is it has 7 tracks. It's got some photo that he supposedly took with his iPhone when he was landing like up in Montana somewhere. I don't know if he took it when he got off the plane or something, some studio he was going to. And then he took his iPhone and he just wrote on the cover like with green font, and that became the album cover. And I'm like, okay, so you spent $80,000 for some stupid photo for Pusha T's album cover. Then for yours, you just take a photo with your iPhone and like put in green, just write with your hand on the cover. I'm like, I don't understand this guy. But it only had 7 tracks and whatever. If you're a Kanye West fan, you probably loved it. Then a couple weeks later, you had Nas. This was also produced by Kanye. Nas drops Nasser, which is one of my favorite artists ever. And many people would say, okay, well, your favorite artist drops an album, you check it out. Again, I think when it first came out, they had a streaming option before it like actually launched. And you could go through there, and I did. I listened to a couple of the tracks, and I'm just like, I'm not feeling it. It had only 7 tracks on it. So kind of the same thing with Kanye's. Not for Radio. It had Diddy. Kanye was on Cops Shot the Kid. It had The Dream on Everything with Kanye West, and then had Adam and Eve, The Dream. So 7 tracks. I don't know. Again, Kanye West, weird dude. He's kind of spun out of control, in my opinion. All right. Then you had the same day, J-Rock drops Redemption. Again, J-Rock's on that Top Dog Entertainment. Awesome artist. If you go back and listen to him from the beginning, really good music that he puts out. A little bit different of a feel on this one, right? You could see that he wasn't as maybe hardcore as he was on his earlier stuff, but damn good album. I really liked it. At 624, KRS-One dropped KRS-One, an introduction to hip-hop. Solid album from the one known as Knowledge Reigns Supreme Over Nearly Everyone, which is the acronym for KRS-One. June 29th, Drake drops Scorpion. Now, this one, I listened to it. I'm not a huge fan of that type of music where it's like a lot of like the slower R&B stuff, but it sells, so to speak. It's up for the Grammy for, I think, several different items, right? So, let's see here. God's Plan and is up for, I think, Song of the Year, and then Album of the Year is also up, Scorpion with Drake. So it's not an album I need to go back and listen to that much, but anytime Drake drops, it's pretty much a worldwide sensation. April 10th, Nicki Minaj drops Queen. I know what you're thinking, Nicki Minaj. I know not everyone likes her, but the track you want to check out is the track that features Eminem. And if I go to Spotify here and check out the Queen album, it is track number 2, A Majesty. And Eminem's verse on there is dope. It really, really is. It's an awesome one. While you're listening to it, pull up the Genius app and read his lyrics as he's going through, man. I mean, he's just witty, and he's still on top, man. I don't care what anybody says. The dude is passionate about what he does, and he's on point. April 24th, E40, hip-hop legend, he drops The Gift of Gab. Not my favorite E40 album, but solid production. April 31st, Bun B drops The Return of the Trill 2, as does Eminem with the surprise album Kamikaze. Always good to see Bun B album drop. I liked it. If you have an opportunity, check out on Netflix Hip Hop Evolution. It's, I think, 2 seasons technically. There's only 4 episodes per season. Bun B makes an appearance in season 2, and he talks about losing his homie, Chad Butler, and, they made up the group, UGK. Pimp C, which was his stage name, he was really awesome. He was passionate about it, and you even see Bun B kind of break down. But the homie that narrates, or is the guy behind that Hip Hop Evolution, does a really good job. On season 2, he gets an opportunity to come down, talk with Uncle Luke from South Florida, and there's some things I learned about really why 2 Live Crew got going the way they did. I kind of knew some of the history, but I didn't know they had so much fight with the local politicians down there pretty much saying they can't say what they were saying. And it's kind of like, come on, freedom of speech here. But anyways, check it out on Netflix. If you have that, it's called Hip Hop Evolution. You'll see Bun B there. Eminem, I already covered the album earlier in the year. I love it. I love the artwork. I love the production of it. It's got Dre. It's just solid. Okay, a couple weeks later, Bubba Sparxxx, rapper from the country. So Bubba Sparxxx, I've always liked his music, even going back to his first album when he dropped with Timbaland. His first couple albums I really, really like. His style hasn't changed all that much, but he's just a good old kind of country boy, dude, that loves to rap. And I follow him on Instagram. He continues to tour, put out new music. Solid album to check out. 2 weeks later, Cypress Hill, Elephants on Acid, and Lil Wayne, The Carter 5, I think it was. And then Logic, Young Sinatra 4. So someone had commented, I agree, the Cypress Hill, it might grow on me, but I just, to me, it wasn't my favorite Cypress Hill album. I saw recently that they mentioned how many streams they had all year, so they have a huge cult following. I think really anything they put out, the fans typically rush to it. I know I did. I was really looking forward to it when it dropped, and it just wasn't my favorite album. I do go back and listen to it from time to time, and that's kind of my story, and I'm sticking to it. The Young Sinatra 4 was an awesome album. I really like it. Again, Logic hit us with another one. And track 6, Wu-Tang Forever, really like the track. You got to be damn good to get all the members of the Wu-Tang to come on your track. And that's what he did. He kind of hits us with a verse, and then the other members roll in. But it's a really solid album. I mean, he is a great MC. I definitely highly suggest that you check that out. And then Lil Wayne, I don't follow him. One of my buddies does, like, really pretty religiously. The Carter 5 was an album that people were waiting for a long time. It has Snoop Dogg. It has Kendrick Lamar, Nicki Minaj, Travis Scott, Ashanti. It had 23 tracks. Again, I mean, I respect what he does. I don't listen to everything religiously, so that was another album that dropped. So skipping forward from there, I have November 1st, Action Bronson dropped White Bronco. So Action Bronson, man, he is really kind of turned into a superstar. He's got a TV show. He's into cooking. But White Bronco had 11 tracks. It's got A$AP Rocky on it. Pretty solid album. Check it out if you're a fan of his. He really has, kind of a big cult following, and he's turned into a pretty damn good MC. The track Blue Baby, as an example, one of his tracks with Chance the Rapper, it has like 78 million streams on Spotify. All right, 11-9. I mentioned this album recently, Master Ace and Marco Polo. They dropped an album, and I don't know the exact pronunciation, but it's Abreukelen Story. So I did check out the album. Pretty cool. He drops a lot of awesome concept albums, and this is a good one. And then Too Short dropped a Pimp Tape. So I talked about that recently on the podcast. I'll try to continue to keep up with the new albums that drop. That way, at the end of the year, we could just talk about some of those versus kind of going through every one of them like I am here. On 11-16, Anderson .Paak. So you're like, who the hell's that? If you like the Dr. Dre Compton soundtrack album that he dropped, you may remember Anderson .Paak is on there. And he kind of formed a pretty solid relationship with Dre, and Dre, I believe, produced this album. I listened to it a couple times. It's got Kendrick Lamar. It's got Dre. Pusha T's on it. Snoop Dogg. J. Cole. Q-Tip. BJ the Chicago Kid. I mean, solid album. It's not for everyone. So, I know some of my homies are like, I don't really feel the Anderson. But Oxnard is the name of the album. And if you haven't checked it out, definitely do that. Okay. 11:30, Ghostface Killah, the Ghost Files, the Bronze Tape, and the Propane Take. Ghostface, man, living legend. I can really listen to anything and just hit play. He really is a legendary MC. Love his storytelling. You had the Ghost Files, the Bronze Tape. It had King Crooked on it, which is also known as Crooked Eye. L.A. the Dark Band, Law the Dark Band. Snoop Dogg, E40, Bishop Lamont made an appearance. Raekwon, Master Killa, he's got the Woo on there. And then rounding out the year, you had Ice Cube, Everything's Corrupt. Awesome album. He's really getting a lot of love from it. The homie Amir over at Rappin' and Snackin'. So he had an opportunity. Someone gifted him with a meet and greet. And earlier this week, he got a chance to meet his favorite artist of all time, Ice Cube. And you can check it out, Rappin' and Snackin' on Instagram. He posted the photo. Ice Cube's throwing up the dub. And, of course, he's a living legend. And then on 12-14, I recently mentioned Method Man, the Meth Lab 2, the Lithium. Really good album. If I would tell you, check it out if you haven't. When I look here, you basically have 22 tracks. It follows... starting with track 2 is called episode 1. Track 3 is called episode 2, and it kind of goes through. Man, good production. Love that Meth continues to put out great music, and he's one of my favorite artists. I'll continue to listen to his music. So that kind of rounds the year out. The other notable items for hip-hop, you had Craig Mack of the Bad Boy Entertainment fame. Remember Flavor in Your Ear was one of his biggest tracks, and the remix, of course, with the awesome Biggie verse and LL and all the guys that were on it. He passed away on March 13th due to congestive heart failure. On April 16th, you had Kendrick Lamar. He won the 2018 Pulitzer Prize for Music. Now, that made Lamar the first non-jazz or classical artist to win the award. I thought it was kick-ass. I love the album Damn, and I actually have a signed copy that I purchased from TDE in a limited run they did, and I'm glad I did because, man, Kendrick Lamar, I could go back and listen to that damn album over and over and over again. On August 24th, Ghetto Boys founding member DJ Ready Red, he died at the age of 53 from an apparent heart attack. And then on September 7th, Mac Miller, rest in peace, he died of a drug overdose. A lot of good stuff in hip-hop. Hip-hop continues to stay on the rise for sure. You got new artists coming out. If you haven't noticed, I tend to flock towards the music that I like, right? So if you look through and you Google all the releases for 2018, yeah, there's some other guys in there, maybe some names that aren't as big, right? Some artists that probably in the future will be huge. But those are the names that I would think that most of the Airhead Nation would know or maybe appreciate or want to listen to. A lot of good music. Continue to support music. I would say, if nothing else, definitely subscribe to Spotify or Apple Music. I still go out. I'll buy maybe some albums through iTunes. I just hit the record store the other day. I was looking for some different things, whether it be vinyl, which is continued to make a comeback, or even tapes, man. If anybody has any hip-hop tapes out there they want to sell, get at me. Let me know. There's a couple that I've really been looking for, and I went to the record store the other day to look, and they had a few tapes, not as many as I had hoped. But tapes are a huge collector item, and people like myself, I don't have a huge collection of them like I used to, but it's kind of cool. Some of my favorite artists I do like to go back and collect. And if you noticed for the artwork that I used on the last episode, when I used the Eminem songs, a couple of artists have, well, more than a couple, a lot of artists have put out, when they release an album now, they'll launch it also on a tape cassette, and those usually sell out pretty quick. The hip-hop heads really love to collect it or listen to it on their tape player, their Walkmans, if you will, and it's just a big thing. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I think on the next issue, we'll round out the year, as I mentioned earlier with Miggity Mike the Mayor. We'll talk about some of the awesome things that these different truck clubs have done, some of our favorite guests, and then, of course, some of our favorite shows or events, whether we were there or not, maybe some of the buzz from these shows, and some of the buzz that we have going into 2019 from a mini truck scene and automotive standpoint perspective. So thanks for everyone that continues to take screenshots and share the episode, like the homie Ruben. There's a lot of love that we get from the Airhead Nation, and we certainly appreciate that. We're going on year 4. So in 2019, we've got some big things in store, and we just got to keep plugging away. We appreciate everyone. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy the weekend. And most importantly, have a Merry, Merry Christmas on Tuesday. We appreciate y'all. We out here. Peace.
Confidence and calculated promises all in your conversation. I hate people that feel entitled. Look at me crazy cause I ain't invite you. Oh, you important, you the moral to the story. You endorsing, motherfucker, I don't even like you. Corrupt a man's heart with a gift. That's how you find out who you dealing with. A smart percentage you I'm building with. I want the credit if I'm losing or I'm winning. On my mama, that's the realest shit.
Let's talk about love. Everything you offer, but do you feel it hard, I know the feeling hard,
Cause maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer, all the stars are closer, all the stars are closer. Cause maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are get away from me. If you do, I won't move. I ain't just cry for no reason. I ain't just pray for no reason.